Hello everyone and welcome. So it is the same day as when I swam in Alba, and in this video what we're going to be testing is how long it takes for a gambeson to dry once it's soaking wet. So I'm just going to hang up the gambeson here. I actually have another gambeson because the gambeson that I have here is a really thick one. So I also have a thinner one, so we can test how long it takes for a thin gambeson to dry and how long it takes for a thicker gambeson to dry. So I'm just gonna weigh them, and I'm gonna weigh them every single day, so we can see how fast they dry and how heavy they are right now. Let's weigh the first one. It weighs base 18 kilos approximately, 19 to be exact. So we have 19 kilos of gambeson here, and we're gonna hang it up to let it dry and see how many days it takes. Then you also have the second one, which is this one, and this one is way thinner. The bottom of the box is full of water, so the whole gambeson is just completely soaking wet. Anyways, let's weigh this one. 8 kilos approximately. So the thin one is 8 kilos. The thick one is 19 kilos. Anyways, let's hang all of these up and see how many days it takes for them to dry. So, just to let you know, this is like 45 minutes after it has been put inside water. And it's still dripping that much. And of course, it has been inside the box that has a little bit of water in it, but it's very full of water. Okay, so we have hung up everything. Those are the pants. That is the thinner gambeson. That is the thicker one. That is the padding I have under the helmet. That is the tunic, the foot wraps, and the belt. Yeah, this is gonna take a long time to dry. I'm constantly going here and removing water, but there's just so much in it that it just continues dripping. So we are starting at a weight of 8 kilograms for that gambeson and 19 kilograms for that gambeson. We'll see how long it takes for them to dry. So I will also just oil both the helmet and the mail to prevent them from rusting. Okay, so I had originally planned to film every day when I weighed them to see exactly the progress and everything like that. But of course, you probably don't want to watch a 20-minute long video to find out how long it takes for a gambeson to dry. So instead, I'm just going to put the weight on screen right now. Okay, so the thick gambeson took 11 days to dry, and the thin one took 9 days. So you will see that in the first day they lost basically half of their weight, and well, that's probably due to the fact that there was so much water in it that the water could easily just get out because there was just so much of it. After that, it took way more time for it to dry because in the end it was only humidity that needed to evaporate, so of course it takes longer. Now I can also add that day 5 and day 9 were sunny days, so I actually hung them out outside. The other days have not been sunny in any kind of way, which means that they were just hanging inside the barn all the time, and of course that means that they are drying way slower. Now for comparison to the 9 and 11 days time of drying, the normal clothes, took only 3 days to dry, so clearly way shorter time. So here is the thin gambeson, it's completely dry, and here is the thick one, also completely dry. They now weigh 1 kilogram for the thin gambeson and 3 kilograms for the thick one. Now for the male, I just oiled it and it hasn't rusted at all. I also wore it a little bit, and the good thing about mail is that if you wear it, the rings are basically going to rub together and will remove all the rust by themselves simply because of the rubbing of the rings together. So that is actually really good about mail. Then we have the helmet. It didn't rust at all because I just put oil on it, and it had water on it in so little time that I just put oil in it and it didn't have time to rust. And for the mail of the helmet, well, again, it's mail, so it's the same thing as the mail shirt. So in the end, it took 11 days for the thick gambeson to dry and 9 for the thin one. Now, of course, this experiment is not scientific in any kind of way because, of course, there are only 2 kinds of gambesons, and there are a lot more gambesons existing. Some would be made of different materials. For example, wool will probably dry in a different way, maybe take longer or shorter time, I don't know. Probably shorter time. And all of these things really matter to how fast the gambeson dries. And you also have the fact that the temperature that the gambesons are in really matters. And now, of course, they were just hanging outside in the barn, so they didn't really have a very high temperature to actually be able to dry fast. If it was the middle of summer, for example, they would dry way faster. And if I had put them inside the house, which is heated up, they would dry faster. If I had made a fire and hung them up over the fire, that would also mean that they would dry way faster. I also didn't wear the gambesons, which could affect how they dry. I guess they would dry faster because you have the heat from your own body heating them up and basically making them dry faster. So all of these things matter a lot, and of course, you cannot say that all gambesons will dry in this time. It really depends on the gambeson and on the conditions. But in any case, you see that it takes a long time for gambeson to dry, and whatever you do, it is not going to be extremely fast to dry a gambeson. And well, if you're out adventuring and your gambeson gets completely wet, you will use a lot of time to dry it, and it could be a problem, especially if it's cold outside and you need your gambeson to keep you hot. If it's wet, it's not going to keep you hot. So those are things to consider when you're out adventuring, and yeah, gambesons take a lot of time to dry. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, so if you tried to buy the book I sell, this one, you may have noticed that it was unavailable for a long period of time. Now, I've got it solved right now, so it's available once more. I had some problems with it with Amazon and stuff, so I actually had to publish it with another printing service, and that means I had to change the ISBN, so the kind of number of the book, and that means I also had to change the title. So instead of being called The Amazing History of blah blah blah, it's now called The Fascinating History. Not a big change, but that is just something I had to change. But in any case, it's now available once more, and well, I'll put a link in the description if you are interested.